Yellow boys. So this is the fastest way I found to self-host N8N. Now there's 1,000 different ways, but like I said, this is the fastest. Now we're gonna be using EC2 instance that's hosted on AWS. And the reason I picked AWS is because they give us about 10 months of free usage. So the second step is you SSH into it, and then finally you set it up with Docker. So that's the 3-step process that I'm gonna get into it today. So let's get started. Okay, so this is what your AWS account would look like after you've created it, right? You'll be having about $100 in credits. First thing you want to do is go to EC2. You can type it in the search bar and get it as well. Once you're inside, go to instances. And here we'll say launch instance. And then type something in. Type something like N8N test, right? Just type that in. That's fine. And then we're going to go with, you can pick any image you want. I'm just going to say test 1, by the way. You can pick any image you want. We're going to go with Ubuntu. I would recommend that. It's, again, least amount of hassle to work with. And then you can see the pricing here for Ubuntu as well. It's the same as Linux, by the way. So it's about 0.0132 USD per hour. So that if we just do a quick math, 0.132, multiply that by 24, we're looking at about $0.3 a day. Multiply that by 30, that's about $9.5 a month approximately. Multiply that by 10, so 10 months is $95. You have $99 in credits, so you should be able to make it through for about 10 months at least. Now that is there, we go create a new key pair as well. Call it N8N test 1. You can call it whatever you want, just remember the name. So it's going to download a .pem file for you. So this PEM file contains your credentials, right? Your secret keys inside. So yeah, you can leave everything as is. It's fine. We'll get back to it later. So I'm just going to launch this. So while this launches, right? Okay, it's actually done. So we might as well just do it. We'll just go back, right? And we'll just refresh this here. And we can see our test has started. All right, nice. Now let's try to SSH into it. To do that, we go to connect. And then we go to, okay. So it says open SSH client, locate your private key. So we have already downloaded our .pem key, which we would require in order to connect to it, right? Because you see we have to state it here. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is something I like to do is I like to sort of, what do you call this? Move my key. Like I don't like keeping it in the downloads folder. So we're going to do downloads, right? And then we're going to go for my N8N key. And then I'm going to move this to the SSH folder, which is going to be N8N test 1 and then .pem, right? So I'm going to call it this. Now I've moved my key into the .ssh folder. Next, I'm going to sort of change the permissions on it to 400 because it just means only I can read it. No one else can do anything else. Actually, even I can't do anything else to it. So I'm just going to give it to that key. Where is it? N8N test. So yeah, you need to make sure you change the permissions on this, or it gets rejected when you try to SSH into the. Right? Let's go and change the path to be, the path that I've given for my key, which is in the SSH folder. Yeah, I think this should be fine. Let's go ahead and SSH. So we'll say yes, and we are in. Yep. So who am I? And we are inside. Now, what we can do here is I'm just going to do a sudo apt update first, just to get it done. So now that we're inside it, the next step is going to be setting it up with Docker, right? That's going to be up. Okay, awesome. So we have sort of logged into it and we've updated some of the packages inside. What we're going to do next is install Docker within Ubuntu. So to do that, we're going to go to, Docker's documentation here, and they have a pretty easy way of installing Docker, like a quick, fast way of doing it. So I'm going to copy this first curl command, right? I'm going to do a sudo curl this, right? And then I'm going to run this as well. So what this curl command does is it's like downloaded this .sh. I made a mistake. Oh, sorry. All right, there you go. Okay. So okay, so this is gonna set up Docker for us. All right, do sudo service docker start. And head over to N8N's GitHub repository, where they have information on how to install N8N with Docker. And it's simply just 2 commands. That's it, you know. So do docker volume create. I'm just gonna go ahead and paste that, right? Oh, we need a sudo as usual. Okay, so now that's created. We can go ahead. So we don't want to use this exact command here for the second line because it runs interactively, and that's not what you want. You want it to run in a detached mode. What this means is you want it to run in the background, right? You don't want to be, coding it in the terminal. So you want to run in the background as a process so that you can access it from your local computer, because that's where you want to do the work, not from the virtual machine. And you also want to not add the RM flag, because what this means is if it stops the container, it automatically deletes it, which is not what you want. For that command, we'll be using this instead. We removed the RM flag, we removed the interactive flag, and we replace it with D, which just means detached. And then we have added an environment here where it said N8N secure cookies false. The reason for this is so that we can, log in with HTTP, and they don't, require HTTPS in order for us to, log into N8N. And what else is there? There's also port. We changed the port is fine, I guess. Everything else is kind of the standard one, same thing. So we can just run this. Okay, looks like it's done. So let's do docker ps. Sorry. So you can see that there's a container running here, right? On this port, right? It's forwarding all this to this 5678 port. Now, what that's missing is that you have to add an inbound rule to allow you to connect, or to, connect to this port through your browser. To do this, just head back to your instance and then head to your security, right? Then go to your security groups. And here we're going to add a new rule, inbound rules, right? We're going to add a rule, custom TCP. We're going to take the port range as 5678. And we're just going to go with anywhere IPv4. Now here you can also put your specific IP address, right? But, just make sure that it doesn't change all the time or you'll have issues with it. So you can do that. I'm just going to go with this for now. It's not safe, but yeah, you can use your own IP address. So now that we've sort of allowed this inbound rule from anywhere to this specific port 5678, we should be able to go back to our instance and take the public IPv4 address, paste this along with the port, and we should be able to connect to our N8N. And there you go. That's it. So you can set it up from here and you'll be fine. So this will run 24/7. You can close your computer. It's still going to be up. And that EC2 is going to run as long as it could, at least till your credits run out. So good luck for the next 10 months. Hope you build something cool.